Today we are looking at the brand new Omnistar L80 by Casiris. This is a native 1080p projector, and straight out of the box, I'm definitely noticing some quality, not only in the power supply, which is a little bit on the large side, but it is to be expected, and the remote control, which is somewhat basic, but does have all the buttons you need. The projector itself is very well constructed. I love this fabric touch on it, and it has a plethora of ports between the Ethernet ports, the 2 USB, 2 HDMI, the headphone jack, the USB Type-C port. On the top, there's a simple power button, and on the sides, there are speaker grills, and I was glad to see that they included a filter for the fan. On the front side here, we have the lens itself and some of the sensors for the automatic keystone and focus. There is a simple yet effective leveling foot in the front, which does get the job done. A sub $500 projector, I'm already impressed. Put it into my home theater that has a 110-inch screen, and it had no problem filling up that size. And this is the boot up sequence that it goes through. It did boot up fairly quickly and get me into the menu, much faster than some other projectors that I have reviewed in this price point. Now, it is running Android 9, and the menu system is very simplistic, but again, effective. It's very straightforward to the point, and I did find it to be very responsive. It does have the auto focusing feature, which was very accurate. For media, I went ahead and just plugged in my Google Chromecast, and the USB port did supply the 5 volts that it needed. It found the HDMI input right away and switched to that. Now I've got access to all of Google Chromecast and everything that it offers. There are built-in apps, but I've always found that with projectors, it's much better just to plug in your own media source that you can manage independently of the projector, which is what I did in this case, and went ahead and booted up Netflix. I will mention that this is a sample unit that the company sent me out to review, and so some of the features like the Netflix that was built in there didn't work. And so having a separate device plugged in is the only way that I was able to pull up Netflix. It looked like they were just trying to go through the browser with the built-in one. And at this price point, I would not expect it to have Netflix certification. This projector is currently available on Indiegogo, and if you're still lucky enough to get it on the early bird pricing, you can get this thing for less than $300, which is crazy in my opinion, because this is a 110-inch screen I'm projecting onto. It has two 15-watt speakers built in.
Keep it safe that way.
Yeah, so no one gets greedy.
I found the speakers to be adequately loud, even at 60% of the total volume, and when you put it up to the highest,
within that wall is a door.
It really does fill up the room quite impressively. But we do need to talk about the fan noise. Like most projectors, this does have a fan built in to keep everything nice and cool, because that lamp can get pretty hot. When nothing is playing or no sound is coming out of the projector, you can see that we're hitting about 50 decibels directly next to the projector. And if I moved over to the one listening position that is closest to the projector, I'm still getting about 40-43 decibels. But fortunately, when there is sound coming from the projector, even at 50%, I was not hearing the fan noise anymore. Now, while there is auto keystone correction built into this, I did not have the best of luck with it, so I went ahead and just manually controlled it. But this is still a really cool feature that you can digitally from the remote go in and just manually adjust the keystone, meaning the angle or the skew at which the image is hitting your screen directly inside of the projector. So you can really fine tune it. So you can do the auto keystone correction, and then you can still go into the manual and fine tune it and really dial it in to your specific screen size. As far as the picture quality goes, the native 1080p resolution was impressive for that size, especially considering they say you can go up to 200 inches in screen size with this projector. And they also boast that they have the brightest LCD projector at 1500 ANSI lumens, and it definitely was bright. This thing put out a lot of light, especially considering the price point. And I keep going back to that price point, but you guys got to understand, to get this many features, to get 1500 lumens brightness in a projector at this price point is kind of ridiculous. So everything that they're stating on their Indiegogo page looks to be very true in terms of what they're presenting and what I was experiencing. You also have the option to screen mirror both from an iOS device and an Android device. I was successfully able to get an iOS device to screen mirror to it, but I did have issues when trying to do the Android. Again, could just be a firmware update issue or the fact that I have a pre-production model. There are plenty of options in the menu system for adjusting your screen, with the exception of the actual image itself. You are limited to how it is right out of the projector. You don't have a lot of control over color, saturation, and such that you might find in some higher end projectors. But the speakers were impressive. The image quality and clarity were impressive.
Comfy?
So in conclusion, the fact that this thing has 1500 ANSI lumens as compared to a lot of the other projectors out there in this price point are probably only around about 500 lumens for an LCD projector, it's a great bang for the buck when it comes to the specs on this. You can go up to a 200-inch screen, even though what I'm showing you here is 110-inch. They do say you can go up to a 200-inch screen, and the colors really do pop on the screen. You know, when you're watching it on a YouTube video like this, you don't always get the full effect, but look at this. Even with all the lights on in my theater, I am still able to see that image. Yes, it's a little bit washed out, but I have full brightness on all my lights in the theater here in this clip right here. That's when I was like, yep, good deal. Everybody better head to Indiegogo and get their Omnistar today. Be sure to check the links in the description of this video. I appreciate you guys' support. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, and I'll see you guys on the next video.